the Pattaya walking street makeover, extension of curfew times. We've got a fugitive who's been caught, and lastly, stay clear of 1,000 baht Thai notes. That's all coming up on today's Good Morning Thailand. Could you please take a moment to click the like and subscribe button? It helps us way more than you know. Hello and welcome to Good Morning Thailand, brought to you by Dewa Beach Resort, and presenting the show once again with me is Natty Warisa.
Hello everyone.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. And of course it's Tim Newton from Phuket.
Live and living and sitting in a little rotunda again, waiting for the monitor lizards to come and attack me. It's the talk around the village that these monitor lizards are wandering everywhere. And people are saying, oh, they're 5 metres long. Well, they're not quite 5 metres. They're about 1.5 metres, but we're never going to let a little bit of exaggeration get in the way. But I am okay. I'm just on the lookout. If you see a monitor lizard behind me, just tell me, okay?
How's the weather looking like in Phuket?
The last couple of days we've had decent downpour. It's overcast at the moment with a light easterly wind hitting me on my back, which is very pleasant. So a little bit cooler the last couple of days. The last month was really, really hot, but it looks like the wet season's here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in today's episode we'll be talking about Pattaya Walking Street makeover and how officials are talking about pushing for the curfew hours and finally reopening bars fully, as well as we're going to be looking at a fugitive involving with the murder of Jimmi Sandhu. For the regular viewers, you might know what I'm talking about. And lastly, the Prime Minister's come out and said beware of fake 1,000 baht notes that have been going around. So a lot to talk about in today's episode, but for now let's check out today's Thailand news headlines with Natty.
Here are the top headlines in Thailand today. Pattaya officials and stakeholders have been meeting to discuss the dropping of curfews and an official reopening of bars and the city's vibrant nightlife. Gulachat Gulachai, the superintendent of Chonburi Police, chaired the meeting. Bars around Thailand, particularly in tourist magnet areas, have been forced to convert their restaurants in order to reopen and serve alcohol. From May 1st, restaurants serving alcohol have been permitted to open for an official additional hour to midnight. But now Pattaya's bar owners are insisting that it's also time for them to reopen up as bars again. The meeting was held last Friday night in the lead up to the reopening of Walking Street over the weekend, after police again closed down through traffic along the coastal nightlife strip between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. each day. Regarding the closing times, representatives from the local bars asked to reinstate the 3 a.m. closing time. There were also discussions about installing more CCTV cameras, additional street lights, road repairs, and keeping records of employee and guard identification. But the meeting was told that despite the relaxing of the official curfew by 1 hour for restaurants to serve alcohol, the ban on bars remains at this time. Both the CCSA and Chonburi governor would have to be involved with removing the current ban in the province. Prime Minister Prayut is warning about fake 1,000 baht banknotes and is urging anyone who finds them to hand them back to any commercial banks nearby. The PM's spokesperson also gave details about how to detect the counterfeit bills. Locals in the central province of Nonthaburi have found lots of the fake 1,000 baht notes. One female victim told Thai media that she received a fake bill from a female customer. The customer bought a grilled chicken at 190 baht and paid with a 1,000 bank bill. She didn't notice that the texture was different and let the customer go. So she then had to pay back the shop owner 1,190 baht and was quite upset over the matter. She was able to identify the different texture later and try putting it in water, noticing that the color changed. She added that the sellers from a local market nearby found more than 30 fake 1,000 banknotes. The fake banknote producers could face life sentences and fines up to 400,000 baht. The person who knowingly uses or circulates the fake bills could face up to 15 years in jail and fines up to 300,000 baht. Thai transgenders can now join law school and take exams at Lawyers Council of Thailand, dressing in line with their gender identity. The decision has been handed down by a gender discrimination committee. The decision was made in response to a complaint reported by a law student who had been rejected to the opportunity to take a written exam because he was dressed as a woman and not as his biological gender. He had already been through sex reassignment surgery, according to the reports. The committee made a decision last week stating that the dress code of the council's law training school, which demands everyone to wear clothing that matches their biological gender, is in violation of Section 27 of the Constitution. It promises the rights to sexual equality, the right to choose their gender orientation, and the freedom to wear whatever they feel comfortable wearing, according to former Secretary General of the Lawyers' Council of Thailand, Dr. Sombat Wongkamhang. The committee's decision supports the National Human Rights Commission's conclusion that university rules prohibiting transgender students from attending graduation ceremonies in an attire that matches their biological gender violates human rights.
Welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand. Let's just get right into it. Our first story is regarding Pattaya, everyone's favorite city in Thailand. Walking Street is getting a makeover, or already basically had a makeover, and it's safer, better, and more secure. Ladies and gentlemen, business owners and staff along Pattaya's high-profile walking street, which actually opened up over the weekend, are ready to welcome visitors, both Thai and foreigners. So people from Bangkok, Hua Hin, or nearby provinces, let's take a trip to Pattaya because it's ready, and it has been closed for 2 years pretty much. And the Pattaya police have paid a visit to the street in what people might consider as a media stunt, but yes, they have some pictures out there of police visiting the walking street and declaring that the street is now ready and it's safe and visitors can return. And they've been setting up checkpoints, urging security guards in bars and shops to monitor inappropriate incidents and immediately report them to the police. Natty, are you excited to go to Pattaya? Do you now feel safer?
Oh, yeah, sure, I guess, but I feel like even though they claim it's not a stunt, I don't know how much safer. And typically when people say makeover, isn't it supposed to get better? So their makeover means that they're
safer,
making it
so it's
safer?
better. Therefore, yeah.
Okay,
Security guards will now, look at everything that looks inappropriate, which I'm guessing would be a lot
Everything.
of things.
Yeah.
Everything and everyone.
Yeah.
Tim Newton, do you feel safer going to Pattaya now?
I figure they're going to be pretty busy investigating inappropriate incidents. I think that happens most of the time in Walking Street. But, I mean, the headline is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. The actual real headline should be Walking Street bars desperate to get people back. Only 30% of them actually opened on the weekend. So Walking Street, like a lot of the other little popular spots in Pattaya, has got a long way to go to get back to normal. But as we keep on sort of saying, it's sort of become a part of the Thaiger narrative. The normal is just a long, long, long way away, and whatever the new normal is going to be, it's not going to be anything like the old normal. So I think Pattaya and Walking Street in particular have sort of got to have a little bit of a look at themselves and say, what we used to do in the past, it needs to sort of be modified, needs to move on. Now, you've got the people, like the guest you had yesterday, the promoters talking about bringing a new sport to town, nothing that I'd particularly support, but for those people that like seeing that sort of stuff, there it is. And I think there needs to be a bit of an evolution in Pattaya and Walking Street. They were talking about really gentrifying it and putting some trees in it and some more useful shops that might be used during the day rather than being a sort of walking strip at night. So I think the headline is okay because it encourages people to go back there, but they're really just open it up and they're desperate to get people to return.
Well, talking further about Walking Street, Pattaya officials and stakeholders have been trying to push to reopen bars in Pattaya. Now, some of the viewers might be thinking to me, wait, aren't they already open? Not officially. Bars are not actually supposed to be open officially. The bars you think are open are actually restaurants. Yes. But officials have come out and said, look, it's about time that we open the bars, and they're not wrong. I think it is about time for the bars to reopen. Why are we drawing the line over there? And they're also asking to push the curfew. Now, after May the 1st, the curfew was pushed and extra are restaurants that look like bars close at midnight. But they're asking for the 3 a.m. closing time to be reinstated. Now, I saw a comment earlier in the chat from Rohit Tarwani, who I believe is currently in Pattaya, said that everything was still live and well until 1:30 over the weekend.
Allegedly,
of course. Ladies and gentlemen, come
Right.
on now. But yes, there's also been discussions about installing more CCTV cameras, additional street lights. I don't know if people would want more lights to... Yeah, they like the dark corners sometimes for several reasons. We're not here to judge. Road repairs, keeping records of employees, and guard identifications. However, once again, these are just talks. These are just things that they want. We're not sure if it's actually going to happen. Tim, you've got a comment regarding this.
Well, isn't it sort of crazy at this stage of the whole debate that they're still stopping bars from reopening? They're open. They've had to go through all the rigmarole of getting SHA plus approval. They've probably had to go and buy a few frozen McNuggets to look like they are actually restaurants. But, I mean, what a farce. It's now time for the officials to go, OK, we know what's happening. The cases are going down. There was no big surge after Songkran. Get a grip on reality and just open the bars, because they're already open anyway, so why not just make it official?
Yeah, let's open the Pattaya bars. What do you think, Natty? Is it time to open the bars? I mean, living in Bangkok, looking around us, almost everything seems to be open. Why have the bars not opened yet?
Exactly. What Tim said. I mean, like, I totally agree. Everything is slowly coming back to normal.
Yeah.
Also, we've seen COVID numbers drop drastically. I think in the past week, it hasn't gone over 10,000 cases. Or it's hovering around the 10,000 cases anyways. It's not too bad. So things are kind of normalizing. I know a lot of Southeast Asian countries are now they lifted the mask mandate that you only have to wear it when you're in public spaces, like in public transportation, but not in parks.
Yeah.
I think Thailand can slowly work towards that. Let's start with opening places like bars, and normalizing that first would be good.
All right, Natty for president. And for now, we're going to take a quick break. Once we come back from the break, we're going to be looking into more stories regarding Thailand. So stay tuned. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Thailand with Natty, Tim and Jay. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to Dewa Beach Resort. Thank you, Dewa Beach Resort, for being the sponsor for Good Morning Thailand. You can visit and experience a piece of paradise at Dewa Beach Resort. Type in the code Thaiger for a 10% discount. Yes, Tim?
It's a question. Is it pronounced Dewa or Deva? Because a lot of the times when it's written in English, a W is pronounced as a V. I noticed Jet yesterday on Thailand News Today was calling it Deva Beach Resort, and I think it seems to be swappable.
There's no real pronunciation of V in the Thai language.
Yeah.
So if you notice, when it comes to letters that involve V, like vehicle, will be pronounced vehicle, like a W.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so even though it's probably Dewa, in Thai it's Dewa,
Yeah, Dewa.
Dewa,
Okay.
Dewa Beach Resort.
However
So visit
it's
Dewa Beach
pronounced,
Resort.
It's a fabulous place on Nyang Beach, and warmly recommended. And if they do a good breakfast, they're more than welcome to invite us to do some outside broadcasts there.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. Also, a quick shout out to Lottie Clary and Greg Anderson for being Thaiger members. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support, and it's because of you that we can do what we do. And all the live viewers watching us right now as well, thank you for watching us live most of the days, or every day, depending on who you are. Please click the like button if you're enjoying the show so far. Swiftly moving on, let's talk about the fugitive accused in Thailand for a murder who died in a plane crash. Now, let me give you some background story. Trail resident Jean Carl Lacramp, who is 36 years old, had been on the run since February. And the Royal Thai Police alleged he and his co-accused Matthew Dupre, who was also 36, travelled to Thailand to kill former Abbotsford resident and United Nations gangster Jimmi Sandhu. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Has this now finally concluded the murder of Jimmi Sandhu? Both who were ex-Canadian military. Now, Dupre was arrested in Canada, and he remains in jail pending an extradition hearing. But Larkrump has now, who was also on the run, was found dead in a plane crash. Tim Newton's got more details.
Well, that's about it. This does sort of neatly tie up the whole Jimmi Sandhu affair. If we remember back on February the 4th, this guy was in Phuket. He'd only been there for a month or so, staying down in Rawai in a beautiful beachside villa. And he arrived back in his red SUV, and there were two gentlemen who were awaiting for him and took him out with around about 20 bullets at close range and then got away. When the pictures came out of the actual people getting away, we saw that they were wearing white, which I thought if you're trying to evade cameras and the police, the last thing you want to be doing is wearing white.
White jumpers.
And the other thing is they were wearing these things. So, this is the way you do a hit job in Thailand, is you wear, what do they call them, sandals, slippers, thongs, whatever you might want to call them. But yeah, here it's a bit of a tidy, neat end to this. The two gentlemen who were accused and being chased by Thai police, one is currently awaiting extradition hearings to be brought back to Thailand for trial, and this other gentleman, Jean Lacrampe, who was in the plane with three other people, including the pilot, a small plane, and there was another member of a bike gang in the Vancouver area who was actually in the plane. So at this stage, no one knows why these two bike gang members were in faraway northern Ontario in Canada. But he's been on the run since the Thai police issued the arrest warrants for the two gentlemen. So, we'll probably find out what caused the crash at some stage, but what exactly the two bikie gang members were doing in the plane we'll probably never know. But looks like one way or another there is a TV series coming up sometime in the future about bikie gangs in Canada that sounds very vexed and confused.
Yeah, there was also $100,000 reward for anyone who gave information on the man evading the police.
Yeah, there was $100,000 Canadian dollar, I assume, bounty, if you like, on the head of Jean Lacrampe. So police were certainly on the lookout for him. Bounty's not quite right. There was a reward for his identification and capture. But he's been found now as part of 4 dead people in a small plane crash. Just a small Piper, a 4-passenger aeroplane.
All right. Let's move on to our next story, which is regarding the 1,000 baht note in Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, beware, be careful, and check your 1,000 baht notes, especially if you're in the Nonthaburi area, because a lot of locals and residents have been complaining that they've been given fake bills of 1,000 baht, and that has actually been circling around the Nonthaburi area. This has made news in the Thai media as well, which actually had the government spokesperson come out and give suggestions and explain 3 ways on how you can monitor your 1,000 baht note and make sure that it is not fake. Would you like to know the 3 ways?
I would love that.
Tim Newton, would you like to know the 3 ways?
Yeah, look, I'd be pretty happy to have fake or real 1,000 baht notes, but if they are fake, how fake are they? Sometimes the fakes are just so ridiculously fake, you wonder how anybody could be convinced. But these ones apparently looked half real. Yeah,
well, one female victim, she basically didn't pay attention because you wouldn't really. Thailand in general... Does Thailand in general have a big problem with counterfeit bills?
We do. Just very recently, we had the counterfeit 20 baht bills, and I think me and my friends were discussing, if they're going to make fake bills, why don't they just make it 1,000? And so here they are now.
Oh, here we go.
Maybe they overheard our conversation.
Maybe it's your friend. Oh, sorry.
Yes, Tim.
Allegedly. Yes, Tim.
Yeah, I think that the 20 baht notes were targeted because the Bank of Thailand had issued new 20 baht notes, the new polymer plastic ones. So So they thought, this is a good time to throw some fakes out there that people might think, oh, are these the new ones? So that's, I think, why the 20 baht notes were targeted.
Well,
Right.
they've clearly moved up in life to 1,000 baht notes. But yes, apparently the victim, she basically realized that the texture and the color of the note was not, like the original bill. And then once she put it in some water, I believe the texture started to disappear. And she was like, damn, I've been conned.
Oh no.
But yes, the Prime Minister's spokesperson has explained 3 ways to notice the counterfeit banknotes. Number 1, notice the texture. Banknote papers have cotton polymer fibers which were different from other papers and made them more durable. Number 2, spot the hidden watermark. There's a hidden watermark, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody take out your 1,000 baht note and check for the watermark, which has His Majesty the King's portrait. The watermark would be revealed when holding it to a bright light. So I guess every shop owner is now going to buy a sharp, bright light to check the notes. And lastly, try tilting or flipping the banknotes up and down. If the color and picture changed in the light, the banknote is genuine.
Oh, okay.
If it doesn't change color, then
It's just a
you've
piece
been
of paper.
duped.
Right. Actually, I have had a case of being conned myself. Like, I have had I think it was a fake 500 baht note, but this was like,
Back
I
in
don't
the
know,
day.
back in the days, like decades ago. And when you hold it up to the light, instead of His Majesty the King's picture, it was a picture of a clown.
Oh no.
It was very poorly done.
But they wanted to know. It was the mark of the.
Yeah.
It was like his. What do they call it? Was it a
watermark?
tramp stamp? No, not a tramp stamp.
Oh no.
What is it called when the thief leaves his calling card? Is it?
Is this calling card? What is that?
Tim
Anyways.
Newton, any comments on the fake bills?
The clown.
Well, it's a way that we actually detect if all sorts of things are real or not. We were a bit worried looking at some of Mattie's videos that she may have been artificial intelligence. So we dipped her in the water and we did find that, in fact, she was real because she was screaming. So, yeah, we figured... and it worked for witches in the past too, dipping them in the water. So, yeah, if you're worried about your plastic notes, but the new plastic ones, you can put them in water with no problems. But... I've done it enough times in the washing machine.
All right. That was a good story. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another quick break. Once we come back from the break, we're going to be talking about a last story that is actually quite emotional and sentimental and quite nice, really. Now, Tim and Natty found it to be a very loving story. It just made me sad. But let's wait to find out. It's regarding a man and his wife. We'll be back right after this break. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our last story today revolves around a Thai man who finally decided to cremate his wife after keeping her body for 21 years. Now, before you find it a bit strange, well, you still might after the story, Natty's got more information on this.
Yeah, so we're ending the segment today with a long-lasting love story. So an elderly Thai man from Bangkok, he has decided to cremate his wife. His wife passed away since 2001, and the 72-year-old retired military officer said he couldn't be bared to be separated from his deceased wife. That's why, even though he had the whole monk ceremony, all the rituals done, when the monk asked, "Do you want your wife's body to be cremated?" he said no. And then he took her back to his house in Ram Intra district in Bangkok, and for 21 years he kind of kept her in a little coffin. He decided, however, that he would contact this foundation called Phet Kasem Krungthep Foundation to help him make a proper ceremony because he wanted to say goodbye to his wife in the case that he dies before he gets to cremate her. And the foundation said that he discovered the woman's body at the home, and they described it more like a storage facility, meaning that there was running water but no electricity, and it was kind of located in a wasteland surrounded by trees and vines, so not a very pleasant area. And the woman's body was described as it was in dry condition. Anyhow, they did finally manage to arrange a funeral, and it took place on April 30th. And the woman's ashes are now inside an urn, which he said he'll keep for the rest of his life. I think it's a beautiful love story.
Which he could have done in the first place.
Yeah, but he couldn't, so sad.
Look, no disrespect to this man. He's clearly, his choice. But is that even legal to do? Can you just keep hold of a dead body for 21 years?
I don't know about that, but I hope that he reported to the police, though, that his wife has died. Yeah. But yeah, not sure if that's legal.
You thought this story was romantic-ish?
Yeah,
romantic-ish.
It's creepy romantic.
I thought it was slightly strange.
Yes.
But then again, I can't understand how much this man loved this person and what he went through, so...
He said, till death do us part.
So I'm going to throw it over to Tim Newton. Tim Newton.
Well, yeah, I think it's a story of love, and we need to look at it in that sort of perspective. He clearly wasn't able to let go of the woman who he said it was love at first sight when he met her, and they never quarrelled. He said during the entire time they were married, she died of a brain aneurysm. And it sort of comes off as slightly creepy, I suppose. If I was walking past a coffin with the person I loved every day, I'm not sure if I'd sort of get much succour out of that. But clearly this man was very in love. And let's just sort of underline now and say it was a love story.
Okay. I hope that... he feels better after, cremating her. He's got an urn. He can still remember her. So, yeah, there's a good ending to that story, and that's all I'm going to say about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to move on to our live question and answers. Unfortunately, Carmel, the voice of God, has once again taken a holiday because today is a public holiday. Oh, also, we'd like to mention today is His Majesty the King's... what's the word?
Coronation Day.
Coronation Day, that's the one. And today is a public holiday in Thailand. And almost everyone is off today, including Carmel. But not Natty Warisa.
Nope. Not Jay.
Not Jay. Not Tim Newton. Chai, and pretty much everyone else. But Carmel's demands, ladies and gentlemen, are off the charts. We will miss her, but let's take some questions from our dear members. Anybody have a question yet? Tim, do you have your laptop in front of you?
No, I'm completely unaware of anybody watching or listening at the moment. I'm just sitting here nattering away to you guys. So I'm not connected to the internet at all.
All good. No worries. I've got a question from Nick Tessely, who says, Thailand Pass. I saw a post on Thai PBS World about that there's a proposal to turn Thailand Pass to vaccine passport. Is this true? Do you think it's going to happen? Tim Newton.
Well, okay, so there's a lot of rumours about what may or may not happen to the Thailand Pass. At the moment, it remains a pre-travel registration system. For people who are fully vaccinated, you've only got to upload your passport details, vaccination details, and proof of the $10,000 US dollar insurance for COVID. So whether they're going to keep it in the future, if they do, and they turn it into, for example, a vaccine passport instead, then I'd still think there's going to be a lot of people complaining. They just don't want any barriers at all. But as you and I, Jay, we've agreed that if they somehow made the Thailand Pass, you upload your flight and your vaccination details, if that sort of still remains important. If they came through a separate queue and you got some quick access through immigration, then I think people would probably enjoy it if it was voluntary. But I think if they're going to make it compulsory, they're going to call it a vaccination pass, it's still that barrier, that paperwork barrier, that it's going to stop some people, not many, but some, from coming back to Thailand.
All right. 212 Roger says, Kentucky Derby this Saturday. Do you like horses?
I like horses.
Are you going to be watching the Kentucky Derby?
No, I didn't know it was on.
Oh, well,
Oh.
it is this Saturday, so stay
Okay,
tuned.
stay
Natty
tuned.
will give a report on the Kentucky Derby 212, Roger.
Sure. Damien Jesser says, Tim, remember when Australia money went to plastic? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was. Well, actually, I think, and this is actually real. I think the polymer notes were invented by the CSIRO in Australia, and Australia was one of the first countries to go to these plastic notes, which is now, of course, now gone across the world. Many currencies are now with these plastic notes. But I sort of remember it. I actually remember. This is going to probably precede Damien. When we went from the pounds to the dollar currency. And this was on the February the 14th, 1966. There was a song that they released that still buzzes around my head. In 1966, they changed to the dollars. And I remember my father coming home with these bright orange and bright green and brown notes. And we were, oh, wow. If anybody's got any of those original notes, that'd be worth a lot.
I like Baby Tim going wow at the banknotes.
Reread says, I wonder if Jet has been gone on a sabbatical so he can make fake 1,000 baht notes. I don't know, but it makes a lot of sense. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Makey says, Natty using the Thaiger company printer to cash out. I don't know. I thought it was only black and white. Is it in color now?
Yeah,
the
it's
printer?
in color, definitely.
Oh, you gave me ideas. Thanks.
Trying to figure out how to operate that blessed printer for the last 5 years. I've still got nothing out of that machine. So the possibility of us churning out fake dollar, the possibility of us actually printing anything at all is so remote, I wouldn't even worry the police about it.
The Snives says, wouldn't anyone smell a rotting body? I actually thought that at first as well, especially if he had neighbors. Would you want to live next to a house that you know that there's a dead body there for the last so many years? I don't know, but I believe he was living in the middle of the jungle, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I think also they put formalin through the body first, so it doesn't smell.
And he probably wasn't advertising that he's keeping his wife's body there.
Probably not.
Yeah, Tim Newton.
Now, tell me, guys, if you had the dead body of your loved one in your house for 21 years, wouldn't you just lift it up and have a little bit of a peek? Come on. Would you?
I would be scared. I would be so scared. Would you?
I don't
want to think about that.
No.
Let's keep it civilized. Come on, guys.
Okay.
Hans C. Schellenberg says, so Carmel is even more high-so than Natty. Ooh,
yes.
that's a close one, Tim.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a close one. I think the demands, she's definitely more demanding. Natty's just naturally high-so. You know, you're born with it. It's
sure.
Like,
I'll take that.
She's like a Maybelline ad.
Oh, wow.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Who
because
knows?
I'm worth it. Do you guys know the tagline for them? Anyhow, let's go to Ryan Bishop. He says, there's durian stinking up in my kitchen right now. And then Reread says, I'm envious of you. I love durian. They're just having a conversation amongst themselves. I like durian.
I really like durian too, but I recently went to Srirasha and I tasted the Srirasha durian. Wasn't a fan. Was not a fan. So I believe there's different types of durian, different brands or style. I like the one from Phuket, which is a lot more sticky and wet.
Ooh, that doesn't sound good at all, but
It's
sure.
really good. It's really
dead bodies
juicy.
still?
Sorry?
Are you talking about dead bodies again?
No, I'm talking about durian. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You said
What's
sticky
the
and wet,
brand?
huh?
What's the style of durian in Phuket? It's like Duang Chai or something.
ดวงใจไม่ใช่แล้วมั้ย
Oh, sorry, what did you say? Montong, that's the one. Montong durian, that's the best one.
Do you know what that
That's
means?
creme de la creme of durians.
Mon basically means pillow. Tong means like golden, so golden pillow.
Golden
Isn't that
pillow.
cute?
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
soft like a golden pillow, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
All right.
Bleh.
Enough about durians. Question, Natty, how many subscribers are there now? Hashtag WaxJ for 150,000 subscribers.
Okay, I'll wax you
I
for
think
that
Paul
much.
Shackleton's the only person who remembers that. But yes, once we reach 150,000, I think we've got about 40,000 to go. 42,000 to go. Just went quiet after that.
Nohan said, the first time I tried durian, I thought someone was trying to kill me. Oh no. Tim probably feels the same.
Yeah, just whatever you do, keep durian a long way away from me. I remember when I first arrived in Thailand, These are actually the days where we had stairs rather than the sky bridges, and the door would open and that smell of rotting durian would float into the plane. You'd go, it's great to be back in Thailand.
I don't think you can smell durian when you enter Thailand. There's no way.
Oh yes,
no
absolutely.
Chance.
Yes, it's ever present.
Sick Puppy says, greetings from Pattaya. Greetings to you, Sick Puppy. John Peake says, in Australia, you can't leave a house for 6 months without someone in it for insurance purposes.
Okay. Now we know.
Now we know. I did not know that. Thank you, John Peake, for the comment. And, yeah, there we go. That's it, I think. Shall we end it there,
Yes,
Natalie?
I think that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Carmel will be back tomorrow, so we'll be able to address more of your questions. As well, tomorrow, hopefully, we will be doing another Thaiger Unfiltered, so if you enjoyed the episode last week, please join us again for another Thaiger Unfiltered, either tomorrow or Friday. As for now, I'd like to say, yes.
Can I just ask, we're off next week to another outside broadcast, I believe.
That is right.
Is Natty coming, or couldn't we afford her travel demands?
She wanted to stay in, what was it? Was it the Grand Hyatt, or was it...
Yeah, and I wanted
Kempinski?
the first class tickets too.
The first class tickets for a 1-hour flight.
Yes.
No,
yeah,
unfortunately...
we're taking the bus.
Natty Warisa will be holding the fort down in Bangkok while we move for GMT. But hopefully maybe joining us through Zoom. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But we'll have some guest appearances planned in Phuket. So we will be doing outside broadcast from... Shall we disclose the location?
Of course.
Of course, we will be doing it from the Trishada Villas.
Wow.
The Trishada Villas, very fancy, very nice villas.
They do nice breakfast?
They do some sort of breakfast, I'm hoping.
Or is there a 7-Eleven down on the corner?
There's a 7-Eleven down on the corner.
Okay.
Are you just repeating Tim?
That'll do.
Yes. And yeah, so as for now, I'd like to say thank you to Natty Warisa.
Thank you, Jay and Tim.
Tim, are you back for the show tomorrow, or you're coming back to Bangkok tomorrow?
I'm here tomorrow morning here in Phuket, but I'll be there live on Friday morning.
All right.
And then I'm there on the weekend with a whole lot of meetings in Bangkok. Then, of course, we're coming back to Phuket for the outside broadcasts from the Trishada Villas, which we're really looking forward to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have a great Wednesday. And if you're in Bangkok today, we hope you have a good public holiday. Thank you to Shai, thank you to Num, Carmel. If you're watching, wherever you are, we hope you're well. Please don't hurt me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please click the like button if you've enjoyed the show so far. We hope you have a great day and see you tomorrow.